Now with this one, I can almost guarantee you on a multiple choice problem, you won't see this. Your final answer. Even though it's in standard form, that won't be one of your options. Mainly because they very rarely have two things. Your x value, the coefficient will almost never be negative. You'll almost never see a fraction. So that means you have to get rid of the negatives in front of the x and the fractions. So if you multiply each one of those terms by -5, that means we will have -5 times -1/5 will be just x. -5 times y, -5y. -5 times 23/5 is -23. Okay, so that would actually be your final answer. So if you work everything out and everything looks good and you know everything's correct, but you have a fraction there, then most of the time they're going to make you take that extra step. Okay, so any questions on that one? Ooh, I know it's Monday. I'm looking up and see people dozing off left and right. I trust me, I completely get it. If I was not standing up here right now, I'd be somewhere knocked out too. Something about Mondays. And raining? Well, snowing and raining. All right, so any questions on this one? All right, let me leave that up for a little bit. Excuse me.
So do you have to multiply it by 5 for it to be in standard form? Like that's technically how
If it's multiple choice, they probably will have that as one of the options.
Okay.
And sometimes even if you have to put in the answer, but just put it in a short answer, they'll mark it as wrong if you leave it as a fraction.
Oh, okay.
So the way they're set up is they want it as just whole number or integer coefficients.
Yeah, okay.
All right. All right. Cool. Looks like everyone's done with that one. Okay, so let's say if we have word problems with linear equations. Okay, so sometimes they'll just give you a problem and have you just write out an equation for that problem. They don't want you to solve it, just create an equation for it. Okay, so let's say, for example, for a movie club membership, a company charges $2 per movie that you buy each month plus a monthly fee. Of $12. Okay, so if C represents the total cost, for a 1 month membership, And let's say the uppercase M represents the number of movies that you buy. What is the relationship between C and M? Okay, that's just a fancy way of saying what's the equation. Okay, so in other words, that just means make an equation. Okay, so we know that $12 a month is going to be charged no matter what. Whether you rent no movies, or you rent 5 movies, or you rent 20 movies, that $12 is there automatically. And we know it's going to be $2 per movie. So we know if we add those two together, that's going to be the cost each month. Okay, so if we kind of put that into an equation, cost is going to equal the $2 per movie plus the $12 monthly charge. Okay. So if you rent 1 movie, it's 2 times 1. If you rent 2 movies, it's 2 times 2. If you rent 5 movies, it's 2 times 5. So that means, I don't need the cost, and you know cost is C. Our cost is going to equal $2 times the number of movies you actually rent, plus that 12 that's going to be there no matter what.
So the C will be the...
Yep. So that would actually be your relationship between the two. Does that make sense? Like I said, they don't want you to solve anything. They just want you to create the equation.
They want to show them, we show them how we're going to solve them, but they need the equation, yep?
Yep, they just need the equation.
How about if we solve it?
Well, you can't solve it. The only reason why is because they didn't give you the number of movies.
Oh,
Now, if they told you if you rented 8 movies, then how much would the cost be? Then you could solve it.
okay.
Yep. All right, so let's move to writing. Looks like everyone's done writing. Okay, so let's say for our next example, you take a package to a shipping company. Okay, so they charge $5 per package plus 33 cents per pound. I probably should have put a 0 in front to avoid any confusion. Okay, so if P represents the number of pounds, and C represents the total cost, of the shipping, okay, then what's the relationship between P and C? Again, just a fancy way of saying what's the equation. Okay, so we know you're going to get charged that $5 no matter what. Okay, doesn't matter how much it weighs, you're going to get charged that $5. So plus, we also know it's going to be 33 cents per pound. Okay, so if we add those together, we get the cost for the package. Okay, which means that your cost is going to equal the 33 cents per pound plus the $5 that you're going to get charged anyway. Let me get that through there.
So we'll do C.
Yep. So C equals
33 cents.
yeah, 33 cents. Not M.
P.
P. Yep, P.
P equals
So the 33 cents, where you can just put 0.33 if you want to.
plus $5.
Yep, plus the 5. Yep, so that's your equation there.
Are we had homework about the story tables?
Yeah.
One homework?
Oh, I can't remember how many problems, but it's quite a few. Not a whole lot, but a few.
So you do this, you teach us the same as we're gonna have in home.
Yep. So how they word it on the examples will probably be how you see it.
Also in the exam, when you're gonna give us the exam, will be like the same problem like we do in here in the class? Like
Yep, it's going to be worded just like in homework. So the exam, they create the same exam problems and everything. So it's not going to be worded any different. It's not going to be pulled from another math program. It's all going to come from Newton.
It's gonna come all from the one, like the homework we do?
Well, not the exact problems, but
Like
it's going
the
it's going to
same
be
thing.
worded like that.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Okay. Oh, so I thought you make the.
Nope. All right. So you're still writing. looks like everyone's done. Okay, so what if you have one number exceeds another by 6, and their sum is 10. So we want to find the two numbers. Okay. Okay, so here we have some unknown number. Which we'll call that x. Okay. Okay, so we have one number exceeds another number by 6. So we know if we have some unknown number, if a number exceeds it by 6, that means it's 6 bigger. So other number exceeds x by 6. Just a fancy way of saying x plus 6. And we know that sum is just plus. And we know their sum is 10. So that means you have an unknown number. Uh-oh. Plus that number plus 6. Equals 10. Okay. Which is just x plus 6, yep, equals 10. So sometimes you just have to break them down a little bit. Okay, so if we go ahead and solve this one for x, you have x plus, this is positive, so you can just drop the parentheses there, bring that up a little bit, plus x plus 6 equals 10. Yep, so if you combine those two, you just have 2x plus 6 equals 10. Okay, so if you subtract 6 from both sides, yep, you have 2x equals 4. Divide both sides by 2. You have x equals 2. Okay. Which means you're partially done. Because you found the unknown number x, but now you have to find the number that exceeds x by 6.
4?
Almost.
Because the sum, it's like
Mhm.
2 plus...
Yep, so if you're 2 plus 6.
So
Yeah,
2.
8.
Yep, 8.
But it's not going to be the sum of 10.
8 plus 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I know sometimes you're like, oh, okay, it clicks a little bit. All right, so you have that number. So you have the other number, which is x plus 6. So you have 2 plus 6, which is 10.
No, 2 plus 6 is 8.
So 2 plus 6
Oh.
is 8. And then
8 and 10. You know what I meant. It's Monday for me too. 8. And 2 plus 8 is 10. All right. So any questions on that one? leave that up for a few minutes, or a few seconds, rather. Looks like everyone's done. Okay, so what if we have one number is 3 less than 4 times the smaller number? Now, if the sum of the numbers is 7, you want to find the number. Uh-oh, clean that up a little bit. Okay, find the numbers. Okay, so here we have some unknown smaller number. Which we'll just make that X. Or you can make a Y, you can make it R, you can make it N, whichever one you want. Okay. Now our other number, we know that is 3 less than 4 times the smaller number.
3 minus x. 3 minus 4x.
Almost. Just gotta switch the coefficients up. So if we start off 4 times, okay, so 4 times the unknown number, or 4 times the smaller number. Okay, that's just 4 times x. Okay. Now if we just start with that part, and once we get that part and we just kind of stretch it out to 3 less than 4 times the smaller number, if you see less than, you know you're going to subtract. If you have 3 less than 5, that's just 5 minus 3. So if you have 3 less than, four times the smaller number, okay, we know that's just going to be your 4x, which is 4 times the smaller number. 3 less than that is just 4x minus 3. So sometimes you just get it and break it down a little bit. Instead of looking at the entire thing, just break it down little by little. Sometimes that helps. Okay, so we have x and 4x minus 3. So we know that their sum is 7. That means x plus 4x minus 3 is 7. Then from there you just solve for x. So x plus 4x minus 3 equals 7. You can go ahead and combine those two. So you have 5x minus 3 equals 7. Go ahead and add 3 to both sides. You have 5x, there we go, equals 10. Divide both sides. You have x equals 2. Okay, which is your smaller number. Now we have to find the other number.
4 times 2 minus 3.
Yep, 4 times 2 minus 3. Okay, now your other number is 4x minus 3. It's 4 times 2 minus 3, or 8 minus 3, which is 5. We know 5 plus 2, the sum of that is 7. All right, so any questions on that one? All right. Okay. Mine looks like. All right. Say for our next example, find the length of a rectangle given that the perimeter is 192 feet. And the length is 3 times the width.